So to start off, we are looking around for some fallen trees, something that we can use for a body and a neck. This is an old alder tree that fell down into this creek, and it seems pretty solid still, so it might make a good body. My buddy's come along with me to help with this build, and I might see if he wants to saw this thing because it is a pretty big log, and it looks like it's gonna be a big brown bull over there. We actually just spooked each other. We were like 20 feet away. Kind of random, but I guess it's his home too. Rogue cattle, I guess. So we got lucky in finding this fallen maple tree. It looks like it's in pretty good shape, so we're gonna give it a cut and see how it looks for a neck. Ooh, nice. Back at the alder, and we're gonna give this thing a go. Alright, let's go find camp. End of day one, we've collected most of the wood we'll need, so it's a pretty good start. Tomorrow is going to be a whole lot of sawing. So the plan for today is to get that thing resawed into some slabs for the body, and then we got to get this piece of maple slabbed out for a neck.
Here goes nothing. Got a lot more country to cover on this one. Over 2 hours to get 6 inches.
Around 2 hours into cutting this maple log. And we've made some insignificant progress. It's not soft. So, I'm gonna go for a swim. Come back to this later.
Alright, so Burl's over there sawing away at the maple. We got the hand plane here. Just gonna knock off some high spots and try to get it a little flatter. I'm calling it 2 1/8.
So you barely beat me.
I was 1 minute and 40 seconds less than you, dude.
Yeah, we resorted to sawing challenges to keep us going. Boom! Getting a little bit of evening fishing in. Seeing if I can try my luck. Day 2 is coming to an end, and we've now got the neck blank cut out. Still have some work to do on cleaning this up and getting it leveled out. Also have our 2 slabs of alder that will join tomorrow, and they'll have this nice book match look for the body. So yeah, there's 2 full days of work. Heading out for a walk this morning to see if we can find some wood for a fretboard. So we found this nice piece of black oak. It's got a couple checks in it, which is going to make our life a little easier when sawing it, because we can just kind of saw through a portion of it and pull off that check. And then when we resaw it into a fretboard later, it's going to be a lot less sawing.
I think we might be able to peel this check off. I sure hope so.
It just came across this on our way back to camp, and it looks like a blacktail femur bone. And I'm gonna save this for later. I think it may come in handy for something. So this is that piece of black oak. I just finished resawing it. The cut came out pretty flat, which is good, but it's going to take a lot of rasping and planing to thin it out to the right thickness still. So there was a fire that burned in this canyon like 7 or 8 years ago, and because of that there's still a lot of burned trees around, and they've got this charcoal on them, and so I'm just going to collect a little bit of this charcoal and I'm going to use that later for making a glue. Doing a little bit of pine sap collection as well. We're changing camping locations. The last spot didn't have much shade, so we are relocating here where there's a lot more trees, and we're still only about 4 or 5 miles from the trailhead. There's a few ladybugs on this log. This is that pine sap that we heated up and strained, and it's pretty hard. But we're going to heat it back up and add some charcoal dust, which is supposed to make it a stronger glue. Alright, it's go time. We're also filling in some of these checks with the glue while we're at it. It's the next morning and our pine sap glue is rock solid. There's a bit of a gap down the middle, so I don't think we got a wood to wood bond, but hopefully the glue is strong enough to keep this thing together. Well, I guess we'll see. Fretboard laid down on the neck blank really well. We also had some cam straps that we used to give it some extra pressure when the glue was drying. So I just went with a classic Telecaster design for this. It's the design I felt most comfortable freehanding, since I obviously don't have a template to go off of out here. It's probably not exact, but it's close enough. I'm using this little template as a 90-degree. It's not perfect, but the only other right angle I brought is this little combo square. But I can't get this thing to lay down flat on the neck in order for me to get a precise line, so I'm just gonna use this piece of wood instead. All right, wrapping up, what is this, day 4 out here. We got a decent start on the fret slots. Gonna keep cutting them out with whatever daylight I have left, and then tomorrow hopefully the guitar will start coming together. Morning of day 5, and I've got the fret slots just about done. Also, most of the cavities in the body are almost complete. My buddy had to take off this morning. He's got to get back to work, so it looks like the rest of the build is going to be up to me. So for this piece of bone I collected, I'm thinking I can make a bone nut out of it using this sliver right here. So this is my drill for out here, no power tools. So I've just got this little manual handheld drill, and I've got a Forstner bit on it right now. So we'll see how this works. Well, it works, but it sure is slower than the drill press. It's afternoon now, been working away all day. We just had a bunch of clouds roll in, and so I'm hoping it's not going to rain, but either way, it's not going to stop me. So what I'm going to do now is I've got some linseed oil that I brought in a rag, and I'm just going to wipe it on pretty much on every piece here, and we'll see how that works for a finish. I'm gonna start putting frets on now. I got a few coats of oil in the neck, and I'm definitely rushing this whole process, but you know, I'm running out of food. Alright, so there's a few coats of oil on the body already. I'm gonna put another coat on in about a half hour or so, but it's starting to get pretty dark here pretty soon. Here we are, day 6 of the project. Hopefully I'll be able to get this thing done today because I am practically out of food. As you can see, I've mounted on the bridge plate. The neck pickup isn't mounted yet, but I'll get to that. And then I put a total of, I think, 5 coats of linseed oil on the body, and it makes the colors pop a bit more, but it definitely soaked up most of the oil, but I'm fine with it. I also got all of the frets installed and started a bit of filing on the fret ends. And best part of all is that it did not rain on me, so things are looking up. Just twisting and taping since I obviously don't have a soldering iron out here. So I'm using these files to make the string slots on the nut, and there's different files for each string size. But on my E and A slot, I put too much pressure or something, and a bit of the nut chipped off. It still holds the strings fine, it just doesn't look as pretty. But at this point, I'm rolling with it. Alright, here we are, the finished product. So I'm super pleased with the way it came out overall. I think the back matchbook actually looks better than the front, but you know, there are some minor issues with the guitar. The neck has a slight back bow, and it would be super easy to fix with the truss rod, except that I forgot to throw in an Allen wrench to adjust the truss rod with. So there's a back bow, and I'm getting quite a bit of string buzz because of it. And with all due respect to me, this guitar does play like crap right now. But I mean, after all, I just built this thing in the woods. And I think that if I took it back home, I can get it playing pretty good. Alder body is super light, so this thing probably weighs like 7.5 pounds at most. But it's also super soft, so you kind of got to watch out with dings and scrapes. If it were up to me, the ultimate build out here would be building an acoustic, but then I'd probably for sure starve to death before even coming close to finishing it. So electric to start off, and I know that you're probably wondering how I'm going to play a demo on this without an amp, and to that I say I've got it covered. So this amp is battery powered, and it sounds not great. So I'll post another demo playing this guitar through my amp at home, and I'll post that on my Instagram, which is Burl's Art.